Welcome
Welcome.
to Shadeinthecity. I'm your girl, Treese.
It's Nels.
And thank you guys for tuning in for our review for Married at First Sight, episode 9. 9. This is what we're on 9.
Are you sure?
Yes, 9, because tomorrow is 10, because we're late again. But thank you guys for sticking through it with us. We love the support. We love that you're actually still coming to watch the reviews and dropping the comments. So again, thank you. Appreciate it. If you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And let's get into it, y'all. And let's get shady. Start off this episode, all of our couples, as we know, are getting to know each other better. They're off doing their own little things. Apparently the goal this week is to try to fall in love with each other. You know, get deeper.
Fall in love with each other.
So, can you feel the love tonight? So,
Jesus Christ.
So everyone has their own set of dates set up or planned for their partner. Now, we see Morgan and Binh, they're getting it in, married lifestyle. They in a gym on leg day. I said, okay. Binh is, for somebody who works out as much as he does, he seemed like he complained a lot. And he's like, oh, this is really painful. Now, don't get me wrong, but see, I don't work out like that. So that's why you hear me complain. Now, Dustin and Alexis are doing face mask and lip mask and
she was
all
like,
types of treatments, which I think is cute. I love that my boo does that with me too. He'll let me, do all that.
So I'm into that. I'm just not about to do a whole bunch of shit all in one day.
Well, not
okay. No. See, like the face mask and the lip mask. Okay, but she said like 4 other face masks after that one face mask.
Well, she does have very nice skin.
Look, you know what? That's maybe I need to be taking tips.
And apparently, Kristin and Mitch are out walking Luna, which we know had to be a lot for Mitch to do, because he can't even stand the damn dog breathing. So that's pretty much where they're at. And
I know Miguel is cooking up some breakfast for Lindy. And sweet. Sasha, she surprised Nate with the shirt that she bought him that was giving very basic. It's giving very much basic.
It was giving very nautical vibes.
Basic.
That's what it was giving. So we are going to jump into our first couple. I believe we said we were going to
Lindsey and Miguel.
Lindsey and Miguel, our favorite. Well, I wouldn't say our favorite crazy couple because Miguel's not the one necessarily crazy. We definitely can identify where the crazy is coming from.
It's that Gemini.
When she said that, I was like, it all makes so much sense.
And with the earth sign, Miguel and his friend Steve are out on the balcony having some drinks, beer, to be more specific. And Steve tells Miguel that at the housewarming party, Lindy got pretty emotional, and it was a super duper turnoff for him. Miguel says,
said it was not attractive.
Miguel says he actually felt the same way. It was a turnoff for him as well. And Steve asks if she's past the point being Jekyll and Hyde. And Miguel says he hopes so. What? For one, you ain't about to just call my wife Jekyll and Hyde, sir. But I mean, if that's what she gives,
he sees some emotional imbalance. You need to point that shit out before you end up on Snap. Absolutely.
So Miguel says that Lindy reassured him that it was just, a little slip up and she apologized for it. Steve tells him, it's like a red flag. It's and did he turn off his red flag detector? And all in all, Miguel basically says, maybe he did. It's quite possible.
Might have
that he did. Yeah. He's going to bed seeing the moons and stars and suns and shit. Okay, that's no red flags here. Okay, so Lindy asks, what does Miguel think it takes for him to fall in love? And he says time. Lindy agrees that, you really have to get to know somebody, like they haven't really seen each other, like tired and hungry. And she feels that seeing the worst part of someone and hating it and still choosing to find a love connection and bringing it back to the good part is what love is to her. And Miguel is like, yeah, it's the complete opposite for me. I don't know why when he said that was so mean.
No, when she said it, I was like, no, that just sounds like really toxic.
It sounds toxic, but it also, even, let's say he even agreed, right? Or let's say me, even if I agreed, the fact that you're saying it and it doesn't sound right comes off manipulative to me. So we
learned last episode she's manipulative as hell.
That to me, that's why I would, even if I agreed, I would say no. I would be like, no, it's the complete opposite for me. Nope. No. If you're acting crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. She realizes, oh, well, I need you to see my crazy because I need you to be able to deal with it because I'm going to be crazy when I can't get what I want.
Or I can just X your ass out at 2 months and find another. But basically, she says, I'm your wife. I'm going to need some grace. And he feels like, well, grace, is that supposed to be bottomless? And I think she basically is like, yeah, like it's supposed to be bottomless. And he's like, okay, so what if I just keep on fucking up and fucking up and fucking up? You're just going to keep on accepting it?
This is not the Jesus brunch, okay? There is no bottomless grace to be served, okay? Not at all.
She just feels like there shouldn't be like a book of scores, right? Which I understand, but he also says, there's a difference between...
there has to be repercussions to your actions.
Exactly.
If I give you the same treatment and same love and I don't change my behaviors, then that makes you think that what you're doing is acceptable.
He feels like there's a difference between patience and being taken advantage of. Absolutely. And he loves the fact that he's like, oh, I got lucky. She's got this infinite pool of grace. So, bitch, you better stand on it. You better, because Miguel is giving, look, if I fuck up, bitch, you told me you got this infinite pool of grace.
I got bottomless grace.
I'm doing back.
Right.
So he asked her, how do you know if someone's right for you then? And she says, well, if you're giving 90%, that's making me happy, and it's just this 10% that, pisses me off and makes me aggravated, I'm not going to leave you to go find 91%. And Miguel says, he's the same, but if there were no feelings involved, basically he agrees that he would be counting down the days. Lindy?
Lindy better listen. She's too busy hearing what she want to hear because of what she want to deal with.
The thing is, she wants to just be accepted for who she is, but she needs to realize that the process that you jumped into, you're not giving anybody a chance to learn you, and you only have 2 months. So if in that 2 months I decide I still don't like you from what I learned, I have the choice to leave.
Yes.
That's why she doesn't want to hear that shit. I think Lindy just expected to just jump right in and you accept me for who I am and all my crazy, and we'll live toxic for happily ever after, I guess. I don't know.
We catch up with Justin and Alexis. They talk about love. And he said he thought he wasn't loved before, but he realized, or no, he said he thought he was in love before, but he realized, y'all,
that he wasn't. That won't it.
He said that he said that he was in love, where he thought he was in love with this girl, his first girl that he lost his virginity to. And just word on these YouTube streets, people are not even believing that Justin is out here hunching. Some people believe he's still a virgin. So he realized that he didn't love her like that because he wasn't willing to do anything for her. He said he would have done anything for her. It's just that for her, it was all about benefits, and she dogged his ass. So really, what it's giving is he did love her. Okay, but he got dogged. It wasn't reciprocated.
Exactly, and it hurt his feelings. And It wasn't reciprocated. Exactly.
So he said because, well, as she said, because he said yes to everything, he thought that if he just did what was right, everything would be better. So then Alexis asked about his relationship with his family and whether he felt like it was very one-sided. And he says, absolutely, because apparently his father used to go away and he couldn't understand why. And it used to make him try to do whatever to please him and basically to keep him there. So he would feel like his dad loved him. He asked her to tell him how much she loves him in that moment. And she basically says, no, I can't do that.
It makes her feel
Let me tell you what Alexis ain't got. Bottomless grace. So she brings up what happened in the candy store. And clearly she still got a good memory too.
In the candy.
And she says she wants the security back and to feel as she felt while they were on their honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he, says he's going to try to make those feelings come back or make her feel that way. But I feel like, you know how when somebody is already got on your nerves and then sometimes the more that they try to do shit, it irritates you even more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what Justin gives me.
I feel like that's what was happening with Binh and Morgan also.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. You remember when we were in the car last week and we were driving and we were on the phone with Mike and we were talking about how words are powerful.
Yeah.
She's getting what she asked for.
That's true.
She said she's waiting for the difficult part. Oh, she heard marriage is so hard. She's just waiting for it to get hard. And look, you got back from honeymoon and boo slapped you in the face.
Yeah, that's true. Words are very powerful. Shout out to Mike Reddy for that one. That's very true. Dustin and Alexis then go meet up for a beach date. And he's hoping he can make his wife fall in love with him again. She asked him how he saw himself as a husband before he even entered this process. And he said he just saw him being a good husband, being good, supportive, good listener. And she's like, that's it? You thought that's all a husband had to do? Was be a good listener and be supportive? Oh, okay.
I got friends for that, homie.
Right. He said he could make something up. And she's like, no, thank you.
Yo, you was a lot more cold than she was.
Right. She asked whether he believes that they would still be talking if they were just dating and not married. Justin says he does believe so because he's not the type to give up. He asked her the same question and she says no. I said, well,
because she said, the thing with Newton was a lot for her.
Yeah, she said the thing with Newton was a lot. And she accepts people for face value. And he's telling her all these things, but not following them up with action. Well, she said that she feels like she's putting in more effort because they are married. Because we all know she would have.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
Right.
So Stacia, she is ready to dig deep right into the love conversation and wants to know where, Nate is on a spectrum of liking her, from 0 to 10. And he's like, I'm like in the middle, like a 4. She's like a 4. You mean like
I was kind of like, Nate, you couldn't have gave her a 5, like she is right in the middle.
You know what's crazy?
You couldn't give her some bottomless grace.
Listen, and he was like, to him, you would have thought like that was a great thing because he was like, yeah, I mean, like on a scale from like 1 to 100, like a 40.
Right.
She's like, yeah, like nigga, I got it. I got the math.
Look, he must not have passed when it came to rounding numbers and he must not have passed that portion.
But he says, he's lowballing his feelings to be, more realistic, to have a more upside potential. Sasha is not buying this shit.
Okay. It sounds like bull.
She asked, how can she get closer to 100%? And he tells her, just time. Here we go with this time shit. And he just
let me see how much stuff you can buy me, how much I can rack up in this relationship. And then, you better buy my loving. You better buy my heart. You better buy my love.
Got my fan, y'all.
I'm just saying.
I got my fan. I went over there.
That's what I'm sorry. I started off having faith in Nate, and now he is fully giving. I'm for that bag. Now that he knows she has a bag, because he was
willing to share it.
He was all up and through and trying to be equal and love on her and and not saying he's not doing the same, but I feel like once the numbers came back and she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna move you in and you can stay in the house," and I feel like he's kind of like, "Oh, this is gonna be the good." And she's
I think she's
dying for my affection. She's dying for my. So he's eating that shit up right now.
I think she definitely shouldn't have shared how much she makes. Or if she wanted to give some type of number, say like like upwards of whatever,
right?
You know what I mean? Give like a roundabout figure, just to let know like, hey, like we can afford what the fuck we're trying to do.
And not even that. I think I would have dumbed it down. I would have told him I made him. If he would have said 250, I would have said I make 350. There we go.
I think the reason why she was trying to do that is because to make him feel comfortable about having kids. But I think she should have just like made him feel comfortable, like we can afford this. Right. But listen to me. I ain't never told no man in my life how much I make. Ever.
They say you're not supposed to do that. I hear that often.
Whole husband and everything. Ain't never said how much I make.
Ain't none of your business.
She know though. Yeah, me fucked up. But so he explains that he doesn't want to get overly excited. And be like, like I don't know. It was giving. I don't know. His response was a little bit childish to me. But she said that she wants to go back to what Pastor Kyle said, that love is a commitment and not just a feeling. And he was like, "Well, I don't want to be like a robot."
Well, I think she said something about love. It's a choice. And she's making the choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I get what she was saying, and I get what Pastor Cal was trying to say. It is a choice. You make a choice to stay married every single day, but I don't think love is a choice.
And I don't think love is a choice either.
I was going to say that's a difference. And I think she's trying to use that narrative as far as them making the marriage work and using that same thing as love. And I think the two are totally separate.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's doing right now what he can to make the marriage work. As far as love, that's going to take time.
And he basically says, with time, it will evolve. But right now, I am at a 4 or a 40. Okay.
And that's where I'm at.
However, you want to make it fit best for you. Okay. Now, she wants to know if he even knows what love feels like, and asks him, when's the last time he's been in love? He says high school. He says he really just feels that he wants to just be married one time. So, he wants to move just a little bit slower with opening up his heart to his wife, and realizes that, it may sound counterproductive, but says he wants to go all in with his commitment and understand her like 100%. So he's going to take his time. I don't know what his sign is, but I completely understand, sir. I get it. Okay.
No, I will say I get Nate for wanting to, and this is the one time I was like, Sasha, this is why you by yourself. Or have been. This is why you've had trouble probably dating somebody for a very long time, because when things don't go your way, or when you don't hear what you want to hear, you feel like I'm going to make you because you're that type A, that dominant.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to work, because Nate very much seems like he's willing to fall back and let you do certain things, but he's going to be the head of that household.
And I feel like he said like a lot of reassuring things. So he said
I can agree.
He said that there's not a lot of things that will keep him from falling in love. He also said, we have a lifetime, but this is only week 3. Like, there's a lot of things that we haven't seen. Like, we haven't seen each other, drunk, or, just like experiences. And these are milestones and stepstones that he needs in order to fall in love, which I can understand. I want to see you. He's giving me Lindy right now. I want to see you at your worst. I want to see you, sick and nasty and throwing up and whatever the fuck. I don't want to just see you at face value for who you are right now. That looks perfect and, you know.
And then
whatever.
when I really see who you are, I'd be like,
Exactly. And I don't want to say, oh, I love you because of who you are right now, the perfection you right now. And then when you throwing up in the back of my goddamn car and I gotta carry you in the house, I'm like, this is not what I want. I didn't sign up for this shit. I don't. You know what I mean? So, you know, I get it. But she says that she doesn't want to like push him or put any time restraint on him, but really she was, because she was like,
if he don't say
decision
something
day,
before decision day, it's a wrap for her.
it'll be a no for her.
Then they talk about measurable goals.
Mm-hmm.
And she felt like she, you know, she wanted to talk about that while they were at the pool. And she's like, I just kind of want reassurance that, you know, we're moving forward and that your feelings are moving forward. So not even they're trying to have a cute romantic time, y'all. I'm sorry, we didn't.
They were yes,
they were at the pool, sitting there drinking champagne, feeding each other strawberries, doing whatever they was doing to look real nice and luxurious, right? And he's trying to have a romantic time, and here she is down his throat. You don't love me, you don't love me, you don't love me. And then they go back upstairs, and she goes back into it. Not long after, you don't love me, you don't love me, you don't love me. I said, girl.
And he basically called her a manipulator and walked out.
Yeah, he was just like, look, he was like, I'm making the choice to be married to you, but I am not there yet. And you are not going to force that on me just to make, I'm not saying that to just to make you feel better. And I don't know how many different ways he could have said it.
Mm-hmm.
And she just was not.
He was like, all this playing devil's advocate I just feel like we're just going around in circles, and it's a form of manipulation.
And he does let her know, why would I be talking about kids with you if I wasn't committed to this relationship? And she's like, well, you know, anybody can live with me and have a joint bank account with me. And it's so funny. She leads with her bag. She led with her bag, but it's clearly a fear of hers that men only want her or deal with her or put up with her because of her bag. Mm-hmm. But that's what she leads with.
After that rough night, they go to, you know, chef it up. I'm not sure where they went, but you know,
it was a cute little like chef cooking class. It was super.
Yes. So they sit down for dinner, and she asked him how he was feeling after last night, and he says that he feels good. You know, they weren't screaming. It was just like a little argument. She was like, yeah, but I could tell you were elevating. And he said he felt like, you know, she was playing games and he didn't like it. For me, I love his
I'm not gonna lie, I saw myself in this moment.
As who?
Sasha.
As what?
Sasha.
Yeah.
I saw myself in that moment.
Let me say, as soon as he said devil's advocate.
I said, yeah. He'll be trying to let it go. He'll wake up fresh, he won't bring nothing up, won't start nothing. And me, oh, I got to pick up right where we left off.
Last night.
Right. About last night.
You know, she just says like she was just trying to get her point across. But him saying that, you know, she was manipulating was an attack on her character. And he was like, you know, when someone is playing devil's advocate for too long, it's not even a debate anymore. It's just hard-headedness. This woman is biting her tongue. She says she is cursing him out in her goddamn head. Okay. And he says that he feels, you know, he was coming to a positive place, but she was coming from like a dark place because she mentioned being afraid of being in a loveless marriage.
And as we said earlier in the review, the power of the tongue, words are powerful. And I get where Nate is coming from. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to manifest and speak positive things into our relationship. And all you can think about is negativity and talk negatively about what if this and what if that, instead of being here in the present moment where we are at a 4.
She said that I guess that fear came from him mentioning he was in a relationship for 2 years and wasn't in love. And he says, you know, that he had love for her, but it was toxic. And it was full of ultimatums all the time. And she really wanted him to chase her. So, he wasn't really.
And I was going to say, it seems very similar. I think that's what Stacia low-key wants. She wants somebody that's going to chase her and be like, oh, please, and like kiss her butt.
Basically. And he really just said that, he wants her to have 100% faith in him. And yeah, she don't really seem like she's here for it. She said like she is still going to challenge him. She doesn't know how she's supposed to have faith in him. I don't know. I don't know. Listen, do you want to make some predictions?
We can do some predictions. Shade Squad, while you're at it, if you haven't already, please make sure that you hit that like button
and subscribe button.
So my prediction is that we're about, this is episode 8 now, so we're pretty far in midway.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were in the beginning. I believe I said it was a yes, and this is no. I said this was a no because he gave FBE. Now, based on her behavior, and I don't think it's going to be too long before we see best friend girl come back up into the picture and stir up the pot. So it's still giving a no for me. But now Stacia can actually take responsibility in this no. Before I was solely giving it to him.
I think that it could be, even with what went down, it could still be a yes. Because Stacia goes to therapy. I'm hoping she goes weekly. I hope maybe twice a week, who knows. And she has this talk with her therapist, because if it's giving that Stacia goes to therapy, so she feels like she knows everything. And I'm hoping she has this conversation with her therapist, and her therapist sets her straight and lets her know, like, this is not conventional. You're in a different type of process, and you have to move differently.
And also, you're not his parent. You can't make him do something.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that because I could see them actually working, but it is giving Sasha is the issue right now.
And I think he said I'm realizing this is it's not me, it's you.
We wasn't there yet.
I'm just saying. Sasha brings up the fact that, again, he's still at a 4, and he basically look.
That's what I'm
Lucky is not a 0, bitch. Please leave me the hell alone. Back to the beginning. So anyway, we see Mitch making dinner for Kristin. They're sitting around enjoying their meal while Luna is in heat, humping the hell out her pillow, giving it a good old happy hump. So she asks how work is going.
Got her toys too.
Mm-hmm. Look, bedroom candy, got candy for everybody. Now, she asks how work is going, and he says that he's just gotten a new position. He asks what her life goals are, and she says she wants to focus on them and hopefully have some babies sometime soonish. Mm-hmm. Mitch says he loves how it's all emulsifying, just like his vinaigrette. I like the word emulsify. I'm gonna start using that, and probably not using it in the right context. So
I like the fact that he can cook.
Well, I love that. So all my dates have to be about food. So Kristin says what she really wants to do is, after they have 1 or 2 babies, she'd like to use her California real estate license and flip houses. Now, Mitch is not really listening to her. He does say that he's a little bit concerned because environmentalism and social justice kind of go hand in hand together. And he feels that, it's kind of a travesty for these rich people that go out here and buy these homes in these lower income communities. And then, as we know, living in DC, Maryland, but DC especially, and Virginia, a lot of the times those who can't afford it get pushed out into other areas. And then they put it back on the market and resell it to people that can afford it. It's called gentrification. That's our lesson for today, people. So the more you know. Now, Kristin, obviously, Kristin is like, basically how I broke that down to y'all felt that was a lot. You probably needed a drink after that. Feel free. It's okay. I understand. It was a lot to digest. That's how Kristin felt. She was like, I didn't realize my dreams were so fucked up. I thought I was doing something. I didn't realize I was putting people out of homes. And I could see she was just like, okay, I get what you're saying, but that's not my goal.
I didn't realize that it was Is it weird that I didn't realize that his reach, I guess, went beyond the beach?
Yeah, I could see
So
how.
he's not just like it's not just he's like
Well,
really an
his position,
environmentalist.
he's working on the hill. I'm not gonna say he's working on the hill, but he's now in like policy making. So he's one of those people that go and lobby in DC for them to pass certain environmental laws, policies, things like that.
This is
So
why he brought up politics
right,
before. Okay.
because that's it does closely relate.
Mm.
So I get why he was doing that. And obviously him being in that type of position, it looks crazy in his mind if I'm driving the best car in the best house in the best place.
And living in this area that we are in, especially so close to
San
DC,
Diego ain't cheap, but I understand why
I don't know about gentrification in San Diego, but
I can tell you what's happening from just
okay.
recently visiting. I mean, granted, that was my first time there, but you can see that like
I would have thought San Diego was just already.
You can see that there are certain areas where they have pushed people into, and everything else has been bought up and redone.
I guess it's like that everywhere. I guess, but you kind of just assume that it's San Diego, so you just assume like it's kind of like Malibu, like every place would just be
right luxurious.
Exactly. So I don't know. But, when I think of it, when he explained it, I thought of DC, just like you did. So I could understand where he was coming from.
Luckily, they're saved by the bell, and we see that a bottle of champagne and a card arrive. The instructions on the card encourage them to have conversations open and honestly about what it would take for them to fall in love with their partner, and gives them deeper topics to discuss. Now, Kristin and Mitch talk about love, and he admits that he's never been in love.
Well, he's not sure what the fine line even is between, I guess, being in love.
Okay, because I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, so what are you saying?
But okay, and Kristin definitely says, she's been in love. She feels like she falls in love pretty easily, but they've all ended catastrophically. And from the last situation that we know about, yeah, that seems to be the case.
Now, this is the thing. Her last situation wasn't her fault, but I think it's the pick me. I think she's missing important things because she's too busy trying to
please.
Yes, that's it. Exactly. That is exactly it. Anyway, so she, as we know, last couple of relationships ended catastrophically. Mitch says he's also scared because his parents got divorced and they weren't on good terms. And he says it's an extremely significant thing in his life. And he doesn't really think he ever thought about marriage. But now that he's in it, he's coming around and he realized why it's a good thing. Now, Kristin asked whether
I would have delved into that. Why?
Right.
You clean up behind your dirty ass.
Kristin asked whether he believes a life married is better than a life single, and he definitely says yes. Again, I would have delved deeper. Why do you feel that way? He said he just strives to have a great family because that's something that he didn't have growing up. And he believes they both have the character to basically do what's right. Kristin says when she thinks of her ideal or idea of marriage crazily, it's not that far from where they are now. I said, Lord, do you have any expectations?
From him hanging out with his friends, right? It seems like what he does, how passionate he is about it. It seems like they have like a community. Am I tripping? Like it seems like
no, I'm pretty sure it's California.
Right. So I would think that it wouldn't have been that hard for you to find someone in that community who gets you and understands you and is passionate the same way, and you can build off of that.
She tells him how earlier when she was talking about her dreams and how he was joking, and she feels like she wants him to take her seriously. And he does apologize, but however, he is not going to let this point go that he really wants her to understand that it really does bother him. It conflicts with all the other things that he's doing in his life. And he doesn't want to live above means when he knows that there are people who are doing worse than him.
I got to say this.
What?
I feel like the reason why he even laughed or kind of tried to joke about it is so I feel like it was kind of actually to protect her feelings.
Yeah.
Because
it was almost like a silly rabbit.
Right? Because you don't want me to get into why
you
I
don't want me to tell
agree.
you the it of the it.
Exactly. But since you brought it up, let's get into it. That's what it was giving. That's what it was giving.
So, prediction. This is not going to work. Why? Because as much as she wants to be married, she's going to get tired of kissing his ass, and it's so extreme.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. I will say, I think Mitch has stepped up.
Words are powerful. She got what she asked for.
Right.
Someone who's passionate.
Right.
About what they do.
Now, I do think that Mitch has grown and stepped up a lot since we first seen him. However, one thing I'm not going to be mad at him for, same thing I wasn't mad at Muhammad for. He's passionate. He believes in this. This is his life. And so, yes, unfortunately,
and he's wholeheartedly, and he's not backpedaling. He's not
right. This is his life.
That is who he is. Yeah.
That's what his friends do. Like, that's really
that's why I would think he could find someone in that community
that would be just health. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I see that this may not work because she's gonna get fed up. And I think he may even get fed up because I know in this next scene where they go to karaoke, he loves the fact, he loves getting loose and just having fun with her and loves that she's not guarded. Apparently we learned Mitch likes to freestyle and rap. Who knew?
So when he first started, it really wasn't all that great. But as he went on, I was like,
was that his drinks or your drinks that made you think it was better?
It wasn't that it was like great, but it shocked me. I'll say that. It shocked me.
Shocked me too, not in a good way. So then Mitch brings up the conversation again from the other day and how he's really fucking bothered, y'all. About
was it him that brought it up? You talking about that karaoke?
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought it was.
Oh, you're right. Kristin brought it up.
Kristin, because he was in the moment. He loved seeing her unguarded, and he said he loves that. That's attractive to him, and I completely understand.
And then you're right. And then she
brought it up and said, I think you said it earlier that she didn't appreciate him being like all goofy and stuff while she was being serious about her dreams.
Right. She said that she supports him as an environmentalist and would hope that he would support her dreams as well. And she's like, we're going to try our best to help the world. And this was very interesting. He says it feels like platitude to him.
What got me was he said it seems predatory.
Kristin is clearly blown at this point.
That was a very strong word. He may see it. He just does not give a fuck.
He's not gonna live in there. It's either black or white.
Exactly. And I don't know I don't know. I'm on the fence about the fact that he used the word predatory because you're using predatory with your wife and her dreams and what she wants to do. But I understand and I get where you're coming from and how you see it as predatory. He explained that there are people living in these neighborhoods who could afford the housing right now, but you want to come in, buy it, cash, or fuck it, just buy it, okay? Fix it up, do whatever you want to do with it, renovate it, and sell it for more, and now they can't afford it in their own neighborhood. It does seem predatory. So I thought
one thing I can tell y'all, Mitch might not be the best partner, but he woke.
I think
if he could be as woke about the shower, we would be.
I think he would be a great partner to someone in
social justice.
Exactly, in that community. I think that he would be a great partner. He just needs to work on his cleanliness. But
that's what I said. If he could be woke about a shower, we'd be real good. A shower that's not already dirty.
A shower, a stove, a vacuum, he had a whole fucking room dedicated to junk.
No, it was things that he found that he's recycling.
Wasn't there like a car,
That's what I'm saying. He's recycling. Somebody's gonna use it.
It's not recycling if you ain't using it. You're just hoarding. If you're just keeping it in
He
your
doesn't
house.
want it to end up in a landfill somewhere.
No, make your house a landfill.
Right. So Kristin then takes, you know what? I'm not going to say this. You have to get through your issues. I guess I'm just more of a 1-2 conversation girl. I'm not going to continue to talk about the same thing over and over and over and over and over. So I was just like, oh my God, here we are again talking about this same thing. So Kristin takes Mitch out on a beach date and they're cleaning up the beach.
I thought that was
very considerate.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wouldn't have done it. Once they're done, they sit down and have a little picnic, and she brings up karaoke and how things took a turn. And he said that
she's great at fucking up a great date. I'm just trying to throw that on out there.
And then she brings up how he said things that weren't about her, that weren't true, and she feels like that he wishes she was different than she was. And Kristin, he absolutely does. He absolutely does. He wished you were more aware, and it's not your fault. Nobody's mad at you. I'm definitely not mad at you. But when you have somebody who is so conscious and he is trying to wake you up to the world's issues, and either you're about that life or you're not. But yeah. And he definitely wants you to be different. He's not now that he gave you the information, he was expecting your life goals to change.
Well, because it's the right thing to do, and he's not half in and half out. And she would, I think, prefer him to be, you know, hey, this is your life, this is what you do. You compromise for me a little bit, you know, be like half in and half out, and that's just not who he is. He's all in.
Right. So she tells him that she doesn't want to begin to resent him. This is what I was telling y'all, is getting to that point. And that's why she's sharing it with him. So Mitch says, and I think that's why she kept bringing it up, because the first time he said it, she really resented him for it. And that's why she keeps coming to him, hoping that his answer and his response is going to change. And it's not changing, because as Nell said before, it's black or white with Mitch. There is no gray. I'm not meeting you in the middle on injustice.
But you have to respect it, though. The fact that he's not.
No, that's what I said. I mean, this is the one time I'm actually standing with Mitch in his shit. I'm standing with him in his.
This is like people in certain religions.
In his cluttered extra bedroom. I am standing with Mitch.
Right? It's a whole other bedroom just dedicated to bullshit.
So Mitch says that he's going to try his best and is really grateful for her, and he appreciates her patience with him. She said not just the picnic, but overall, she needs him to do a better job of expressing how he appreciates her. Mm-hmm. She said she felt like the old Mitch from the honeymoon was coming back, and she was ready to put him back down.
Like a rabid dog. Apparently, all the ladies got their guys the same shirt, you know, the one that I was talking about, the basic one, the nautical one.
The nautical shirt.
Yes. And of course, you know, Mr. Badass.
And that was probably easy to find too in San Diego. There's probably
the nautical shirt. The only person that doesn't want to wear it, of course, is Mitch, because he's got to be the difficult one, the hard-headed child. And, you know, she's really trying to get him to wear this shirt, and he's really just not feeling it. So she asked him, can she talk to him in private in the bathroom, and lets him know. She spills the beans that, you know, if you don't wear the shirt, you're going to be the only guy not wearing it today. And it's, you know, it's supposed to be like a little joke. And he's just like, this shirt is really not me. I'm really just like, it's not for me. I think, I feel like he even kind of caught an attitude. Like it's not, I'm not wearing it.
Well, what it is he's like, I don't like this. I don't like people to tell me what to wear and what to do. It's something internal, regardless of whether he really liked the shirt or not. It's something internal going on. He needs some therapy, because that triggered him for some reason by her buying him a shirt.
He does explain later why he didn't want to wear the shirt. I guess partially. I don't know. He also gives me the vibe like he feels like a lot of things are a waste of money.
That.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but you know, maybe he feels like he has shirts. Maybe he finds shirts on the beach. Who the hell knows? But he didn't want to wear this new shirt. He ain't popping tags, okay? So all the guys show up and Mitch has on his shirts, okay? And she says
Kristin had to pull him aside on camera, take him in the bathroom, and look, motherfucker, we're doing this. Everybody else is going to have on the fucking shirt. Put on the shirt. No, I don't want to be restricted.
I don't think it really went down.
I don't want to be a straight line. I want to be a curvy line.
He agreed to wear it, I guess, for a little while, but he brought an extra shirt with him.
He did. He came with a change of clothes.
He did, but it was cute. All the guys showed up, and they had their shirts on. Some of them noticed, some of them didn't. They're like, "Oh, like you know, it's gonna be a running joke." I feel like even Nate said, "You know, we're gonna have to get the girls back for doing this to us." So the ladies asked Mitch why he went and changed his shirt because, like we said, he brought an extra shirt, and he was like, "Okay, so like this is a thing," like, and Sasha's like, "Well, you made it a thing." Okay, because you're the only one that changed your shirt. It's, you know, all the guys have it on. And, you know, he says
he wants to be a curvy line.
You're so stupid. He says that he just looks at it a little different and he feels that when you buy someone a physical thing, you're putting that on them. And it's a responsibility that they have to take on. So he doesn't really like to buy people stuff that they didn't ask for, that they don't want. Now, listen to me.
I'm sorry. As much props as I gave Mitch this episode, that was an asshole remark.
Listen,
it could have been said better. It could have been said better.
I'm going to chalk it up.
Said, I don't want to be a curvy line.
I'm going to chalk it up as Mitch is just deeper than me.
Too deep.
Because
from the clothes that he puts on his body, it's a thing, and it's something you embrace.
Yeah, so when he explained it, right, I literally had to just chalk it up as he's just deeper than me. I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna understand it. It is what it is. I like receiving gifts. I can't relate, but I'm also not an environmental. I'm not, you know, I'm just not that way. So
she definitely is not, Mitch.
I'm not. So I'm not supposed to understand it. Okay. But then Kristin speaks up and says she thinks it's weird to not wear a shirt that your wife bought you. And, you know, she actually had to reveal the surprise, you know, that all the guys were going to wear a shirt. And says, yeah, like
you could tell Kristin was irritated. Kristin was irritated. She was they had to go through all that.
And Mitch feels like it really wasn't a big deal. He just doesn't like to be forced to do things.
So we meet Dr. Pia Holick, I believe her name.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
Because my Siri put Dr. Pierre, and I'm so glad I did. Yeah.
She basically brought them in to strengthen the relationships. She said she's been keeping up to speed as to what's been going on. And yeah, as Nell said, we're going to do our pseudo group therapy work today. So she said, you know, you learn math and science in school, but nobody learns about emotions. And she said, that's the basis of our relationships. So she brings out her emotion wheel and, you know, everybody's looking at the different emotions and she's like, you know, a lot of the time when we're angry, it's a secondary emotion for
I thought else. That was dope.
So Justin says when he feels hurt, he feels betrayed.
Of course, he's the first one to speak up and don't know what the
hell
he's
said that he's not cold, but he realizes he can become cold and he doesn't know where it's coming from. Justin seems like he's trying to be the therapist. This is me reading my notes, y'all. Justin seems like he's trying to be the damn therapist, is what it's given. And he goes on and on. I'm not even going to give you the whole, because it was too much. Because Justin was out here trying to counsel her and tell her what he need. And she just sitting up there looking at him, just letting him talk. And Alexis is, yeah. Anyway, so Dr. Pia points out how he says that he's not bringing childhood trauma into his relationship. And Alexis says, just because you're not acknowledging it doesn't mean that it's not there.
Boom.
Okay. Dr. Pia tries to explain to him that it absolutely does have an effect on your relationship because you put up armor and when it reminds you of something that you don't like. So, oh, where did I leave it? Okay. He tries to stop Dr. Pia and says, but no, that doesn't keep me from being vulnerable or being open. And she asks Alexis if she buys that, and Alexis is like, no, absolutely not. And one thing, if again, I know we often compliment her on her communication. Either she's been in therapy, or it's something because it seems like her and
she can articulate her
feelings in the same language
very well, as well as really his.
I don't even think Stacia communicated that well with Dr. Pia.
No, she's really good. She has a really good understanding of her feelings and clearly the people around her.
And then Justin basically says, when Alexis says no, Justin says, well, she doesn't know me.
She's like, oh, okay.
And so Alexis says, well, remember that when you said when you're emotional, you just say things. And she tries to tell him that in this moment, that's what you're doing. Okay. And I love that she could not be like completely angry, because I think I would have just automatically got to
right. She it's like she understands, she gets it, like where it's coming from.
Right. She's not instead of reacting to it, because I would have just reacted first and then be like, oh, well, that was fucked up what you said, and I have to point out why I reacted. Anyway, he tells her it's not one of these moments, and she says, so now you're speaking for me. So he says he feels completely misunderstood and it's exhausting. And that's why he shuts down, because he feels like he's talking to a third grader. It's constantly going in circles.
See, that right there,
that wouldn't have been able to roll off my shoulders, man.
That would have made me turn toxic. It would have made me
she is very good. I hope to be there one day. That is what I strive to do, because
I feel like that's why I like her so much.
Because that self-control is on. Because that's the thing. It's like he hits below the belt because he wants a reaction. But then he's going to go run and cry once you get mad at him. Oh, it's so disturbing. Anyway, so, and Justin says he's trying to make all this make sense in his head. Alexis says that he brings up controversy in their relationship because for her, it's not about, or she says she brings up controversy in their relationship because for her, it's not about being right or wrong. She wants to understand him. She says when he gives up on her and shuts down, he's not helping her help him help us.
Everybody said, all right. All right.
Now, Dr. Pia says that she hears Justin when he doesn't feel safe. She basically tells him, but unless he resolves it, it's going to keep becoming an issue, and they need to talk until it's understood. Now,
and that's what she said that she was doing, revisiting it, but he felt like she was digging. So Kristin is looking at the wheel, and she says she is feeling more like in the surprised area. She says she was astonished earlier today during Shirt Gate 2022, and explains that they wanted to do something fun and get all the guys with the t-shirts, and Mitch did not want to wear the t-shirt, but he temporarily agreed to wear the t-shirt.
Put on the shirt, yeah.
And he explains that he doesn't want anyone deciding what he's going to wear or what he needs, or like anything materialistic, and explains because he's an environmentalist. And
it said, free your mind and the rest will follow.
What?
Be colorblind.
No, we showing our age.
Don't be so shallow.
No, cut that shit out. We showing our age.
Oh yeah.
with the birthday coming up, we ain't doing none of that. Okay, we ain't doing none of that.
I told y'all I don't mind my age. I'm fine wine over here.
Listen, she knows she don't look her age, but we getting up there, or she getting up there. I ain't about to say your man.
She is, y'all. She is.
You know what? I'm gonna throw my edge brush at you.
Just saying.
So, he basically explains that he's about sustainability and really doesn't want shit. And he's fully self-aware about the baggage he's bringing in. I like that.
At least he knows. He's like, I know it's an issue. I don't give a damn.
Like that. And she says everyone could easily be like, hey, it's just
you could have just wore the damn shirt, Mitch.
Exactly. But he feels like he's not signing up to be disrespected. And this is why I said he is clearly deeper than I am, because for me, but also I'm not in that profession. It's not my lifestyle. So, I guess, he feels like it would be a compromise for him. He would be throwing, his values and everything to the wayside by doing this. And do I understand it? Absolutely not. If you want to drop in the comments and explain it to me, so be it. But Nels don't understand it. Okay. But at the end of the day, I still respect it because this is who he is. And
now that's the motherfucker to live in a tent with you.
That's what I'm saying. I could see him being, he reminds me of the dude from last season. The one that the vagabond.
Oh,
but he's a little bit
Steve.
Yeah, but he's more. I started to say worse, but he's more. You know what I mean? I can see him, the one backpacking and pitching a tent and living on the land, and you know what I mean, washing his clothes in the ocean and hanging them out to air dry. I can see Mitch doing that. I'm surprised he's even paying somebody rent.
That's a good point.
But that's not neither here nor there. So Kristin actually feels like, she's getting a little bit lost in a relationship and trying to please him. Like we said, she's a pleaser and being a version of herself that Mitch might like. But, she feels like, she needs to take a step back, and
Dr. Pia tells her to ask themselves how they come together as a union and basically put balance in place.
That's going to be hard because they're just not on the same page.
Right.
I feel like she's really, really trying, but because he feels that what he's doing is right.
I was going to say, Mitch gives me, take me as I am.
Because there's no room for compromise, because he feels like what he's doing is right.
No, and I get you, but in everything in life, right? Just everything, how extreme he is about everything and everything in life. He's like, this is who I am. Kind of like I said, like Muhammad.
Main thing. I think
take me as I am. The problem is, I think she thinks or is hoping that with time, she can try to not change him, but just like make him soften up, or he'll get more lenient about things. She's not realizing that this is who he is, and if anybody's going to change, it's going to have to be her.
When I think about Mitch and the way he is about this, I think about people that are spiritual or people that are, super religious. This is who they are, and this is what they live in, and these are what they live by every single day.
Right.
And you're not changing it because this is right in their minds. This is how they should be living in their minds. So if you can't get on board, you're either off the train and not living right, or you're with me and you're living right. And I'm not about to get off the train with you and live array bullshit. So yeah, she I don't know. She needs to figure it out. Because right. Mitch seemed like he's really willing to, put her on and make her an environment. Why can I say it? Environmentalist. Jesus.
You're okay funny.
With him, but yeah, she ain't.
Now, Morgan said that it's been hard for her and Binh because it started off in the red. She said that now she feels like they're in the yellow. They're opening up with each other and feels like they're back on an incline. Now, Dr. Pia asked what she's looking for that could strengthen their bond. And she says just more compliments and says that he's really not the person to compliment her. And then, Binh, and I heard this, right? And I was like, people kind of said like he's a little immature, and I just didn't really like it. Didn't really sit in my head. I just took that information and I was like, okay, maybe next time I watch it, I'm gonna
A
see.
compliment to him was the fact that she was drippy and she was icy. She was like, yeah, that's what you want to hear from your husband. You're icy.
It's giving it's giving. I only hang out with my homeboys. Have you ever had a girlfriend? The fact that he had to Google how to touch my wife or how to touch a woman.
Damn that. Even before that, you relate everything to basketball.
Lindy brings up how she's been speaking with the girls about how she wanted Miguel to see her crazy side, and that it hasn't come out yet. Dr. Pia wants her to dig deeper, and says, and she says, when he sees me really be emotional, I just feel like, it'll be something that's like a break. I don't know. I think she thinks it's going to be this like aha moment for them as a couple.
No, bitch, I'm just gonna think you're crazy.
Now she talks about how, the other night he saw it, and she says it's her inner child in her, and he got a taste of it, and he's like, yeah, and I didn't like that shit.
We go back to listen, I don't know if I've ever said it on Married at First Sight, but I say it all the time, and I don't give a damn. Okay, he is an earth sign right along with me. If you know your issues, because not everybody knows their issues, if you're mature enough, you
to know them and recognize them,
get them fixed, work on them. Even if they're not fixed, let me know that you are doing some type of work to fix them. Don't just expect me to accept them. And that's why I understand where Miguel is coming from. It's just because no, I'm not going to deal with your crazy just because you're crazy and that's who you are. And this is your inner child. No, I signed up for a wife, not a crazy bitch. Work on that shit.
Yeah. Stasha says
Lindy and Mindy.
Stasha gets up here like she is, I don't know. It was terrible.
She said she is feeling lonely, vulnerable, isolated, abandoned, and sad.
I said, you only been married for 2 weeks.
3.
I thought it was only 14 days.
I don't know. They said 3 earlier.
Oh, okay.
3. My thing is, I feel like all those words. Listen, I do not want to discredit if that's really how she feels, right? But abandoned, isolated, alone, and you have a whole husband, that is kind of an attack a little bit.
It is an attack, and especially when y'all been together every single day. Now, don't get me wrong. We know people are definitely in relationships and marriages alone all the time.
The Lord knew not to make me a dude, because I'd have been like, you want to know what it feels like to be abandoned?
I can show you better than I can tell you, bitch.
Right? Fuck.
So she says she came into this process to be very vulnerable, and she doesn't feel like Nate is matching her in that. He said that he's taking steps to do the things to show his wife that he's trying to open up to her, and be more vulnerable.
I just want to point out the fact
that he's showing action,
because I think it's super important that he said actionable steps. Keep that in mind, y'all. Keep that in mind.
Actionable steps. Don't just talk. Let's do. Now, the fact that she keeps bringing it up is frustrating to Nate, and he doesn't know what more he can do to prove to her. And basically, he tells her if she keeps on pressing him and not believing him, he's going to get to a point where he gives up.
Mm-hmm.
And Sasha begins to get emotional. Sasha then says, but how long does she have to wait for him to catch up? I said, so you still missed the point. He just literally told you 5 seconds before, if you keep this up, you're going to do the opposite of what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns around in her tears. But how long am I going to have to wait, though? It's the control for me. Nate's not going to be able to stay around for that. She's too controlling. I like Sasha. She's too controlling. It has to be her way, how she wants it. And he, like I said, he's been good at following so far, but the boy got to have a mind of his own. You can't just have a body. Who wants to be a man like that?
So Sasha and Nate are back at their apartment, and they're sitting on the couch, And he says he's irritated because there's definitely a disconnect happening. And so he just doesn't understand what's going on. She basically says that the reason why she put everything on Front Street is because they were there in front of a therapist. And I guess what she was trying to say was maybe, you know, she could help them work through their issues. And he says the problem for him is he is doing all these actionable gestures to show her that he is trying to match her and meet her where she's at, and she doesn't recognize it. And
I like when he said the person that I care about most isn't recognizing that.
mm-hmm.
I thought
and
that was...
apparently she told him that actions speak louder than words. So his issue is, if I am doing the actions and you told me actions don't speak louder than words, what am I supposed to do if you're not recognizing my actions? He tried to explain that the reason why she said it in front of the therapist is because the therapist was there, and, you know, she was just trying to give her background. And he said, no, you said it in present tense. And let me tell you something. First time ever, Sasha was quiet.
She couldn't, because he called her on her shit.
He did. He called her out on her shit. And he basically explained that, you know, you're gonna push me away. You're gonna push me away. You're gonna make me stop trying. Because I'm trying, I'm planning to go to therapy. I don't think he's gone yet. I don't think he said he's gone yet.
No, I don't think he's gone yet.
I think he signed up. He signed up for therapy, and she really just wants to get to it right now. And he's like, so you're not going to be patient with me and give me the time to catch up to where you are so that I can delve deep with you like you want me to.
Right.
Basically, if she don't stop with her bullshit, he's gonna
get the dipping.
And he got up and walked out. And, you know, she's concerned about the response she's getting for something that she doesn't think was such a big deal, and said that, you know, she's got, like, she got
I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of unattractive too. About her, the fact that she can't take any responsibility.
I feel like what's unattractive is the fact that you can't understand where he's coming from.
She's not trying to. That's the problem.
Like, it's all me. I need to, this is what I need to feel. And he's saying that you're not doing anything to stop me from getting there. I believe that I will be there, but I am working on getting there. But you're not being patient with me to get there. And you want to delve deep and have these deep conversations. I can give you conversations, and it can be surface level, like what I thought was deep, but you felt was surface level. But I am going to therapy so that I can have a breakthrough just like you did.
Right.
And I can do
open up without so much. Yeah.
And yeah, she doesn't understand. She doesn't get it. She just feels that, you know, she doesn't think it was that serious. And she expected to come into the process and literally just marry a husband who was already a husband, really, and hit the ground running. And we're not saying that he's not a husband, but, you know, he is, as far as, you know, people have their own traumas. They have their own shit.
Right.
And he's not used to opening up and delving deep. And he is, I can appreciate the fact that he's trying to do it for her. Apparently she can't.
That part. Now we get into Morgan and Binh, our most weirdest and dysfunctional couple on here, outside of mention. Well, they're all dysfunctional, so let me not say that. But Morgan has decided to surprise Binh with mermaid lessons. Now they meet their instructor at the pool, and Binh actually is very much on board and doesn't even care what color fins he's wearing. He is down for the cause. Now, she's always, and Morgan loves it because she said, I always wanted a man that would say yes to anything. And I said, oh, well, guess what? It looks like you got one. So she's looking forward to trying to build back their intimacy. And, you know, she said after, you know, everything that happened, she's really looking to like rebuild their bond. Binh and Morgan discuss, what their past and love experiences are between them. And basically she asked him whether he's ever been in love, and he says that he doesn't think he has. Which is hard for her to kind of like conceptualize. And so Morgan says that she definitely has. Her last relationship, they always showed up for each other. And one night she got really drunk and he was ready to fight everyone for her. And she thought, and Ben's like, that's love. And I said, that's exactly what she wants you to believe. So you got to be out here getting your ass.
Exactly. Working. I'd have been like, so why'd y'all break up? Because you sound like you swooning over this man.
Right. Why? She said it was the right person in the wrong time. Okay, girl. So
what does that mean?
Binh says he had a similar situation with a girl for 2 to 3 years in college. And he said that there was a point that there was nothing in his life that was going right. He said his dad had a heart attack. His best friend died in a car accident. And he feels like the girl.
And he lost he said his grandmother died and he lost his 2 aunts to breast cancer. It was a whole lot.
Oh, wow. I missed all those. I can relate. I thought the daddy and the best friend was enough. But anyway, so the girl that he was dealing with at the time, who was somebody that I guess was in his computer class or whatever, he does feel like maybe she might have been the one to get away. But I'm like, so a girl you were crushing on in class, it sounded like
I thought it was more, so I took it as like more than a crush. But I also
want to believe that, but by his lack of experience, and then he's saying he's never loved anybody, but then you're saying this was the one. He seems like he doesn't.
What I got from what he said was like nothing really took place, maybe, but like maybe she was like a support system or trying to be, and he kind of backed off.
And like, and he kind of pushed away.
He was going through so much. But my thing is, if she's the one that got away, why you didn't reach out home? Why are you on the show? If you have one that got away.
I don't know, y'all. He brings up the conversation that they had about family and finances and talks about how growing up in an Asian home and, basically you're only loved by what you can achieve. He says his whole life, he's always felt like he's not enough. And I'm not going to lie, I've heard this from a lot of
I've heard it a lot as well.
He said, so in his relationships, he also feels like he's not enough.
I've actually heard it in African homes as well. Not
only, absolutely. If you're not
only what you can achieve, but you definitely need to achieve something.
Right. He also feels like he's not enough, and he talks about how hurt people. He says that he never got a chance to go over that or express to his father about how he felt and how he never felt like enough. And he realizes that he hurt Morgan because he was hurt. And he thought she had daddy issues, but clearly he does also. So I thought this was a good come to Jesus moment for Binh. He tells her he's genuinely sorry. But like I said, and I did say it in my notes, I love Binh for opening up. So now Morgan is thankful that he decided to share that with her. And says she felt like she would never meet his standards. And he basically tells her you shouldn't have to. He says he's come to the realization that she is enough. He said that he realizes not everybody's going to love him for who he is and what he does, but he has to figure out how to love. Morgan loves that he can recognize that about himself. And she also points out that he's a people pleaser, and it's hard recognizing that there is a cycle. She said that she wants him to figure it all out, and she's going to support him, and says that it is a good thing. Now, this was super, super cute, y'all.
Right? I thought so too.
Binh was getting points until he wasn't. Sit down in front of a really cute Korean barbecue that he has planned out for them in the middle of the living room. I thought,
and he spent money, y'all, on premium meat.
Right. It did look like premium meat.
Sir.
And Morgan absolutely loves it. It actually looks like she was getting off of work. So I couldn't imagine walking into my house and having that for me. I would have head over heels. That would have been over. She probably wouldn't have ate shit. Would have been nasty time. So they start to go deep, and she asks like what he wants to talk about, and he says he wants to talk about him being a people pleaser. So he said he grew up in an environment where he always lived around or was always the only Asian kid. And so he had to adapt. Morgan says that she can relate because she did everything that her father asked of her, but felt that felt that she was never good enough. Then he asked her if she's healed from that situation, and she says yes because she realizes that she is good enough. Morgan tells Binh that he needs to start loving and accepting himself, and says that she knows it's hard. Ben's not sure when he'll get there, but he looks forward to getting there with Morgan's help. And I thought that was a really cute and supportive moment until. So after our group therapy session with Dr. Pia, Morgan and Binh return home, and we end this episode where we see Morgan getting ready to leave the apartment. I'm not sure if she was going off to work, to her shift. That's what it was giving me. Or I don't know if she was just dipping because of what I'm about to tell y'all.
I don't know. I always think when they show like the camera like up in the corner and stuff like that, it's like the middle of the night.
Right.
But I mean, I could be wrong.
So either way, she's leaving the apartment, what looks like it's the middle of the night. And I believe Binh was trying to or Binh is like, what are we doing? Or he's asking about some plans they're supposed to have Thursday. And she lets him know that, I think she says something briefly to him, like, oh yeah, we'll do that. And very casually, like she doesn't even let him know that she's upset, but she turns around and very calmly lets him know, oh, by the way, Alexis came back and told me everything that you had to say. And then we cut to Morgan in confessional, and we learned that Alexis did pull her to the side and let her know that Binh was talking cash shit about her behind her back for a second time.
So, for one, as Binh, that means I can't talk to you, Justin, and Alexis. Justin, I can't talk to you. Justin can't talk to Alexis. Why? I don't understand. Why are we having pillow talk and it's leaving the pillow?
Well, if you have not already, guys, please make sure that you like the video.
Yes. You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And y'all, please make sure that you are following us on all of our platforms. I'm trying to get good with the, posting the shorts and the TikTok so I can share with you on YouTube. But please make sure that you're following us on Twitter, Facebook, IG. What's the other thing? TikTok. Yeah, that thing. And whatever else they come out with next year. But thank you guys so much for your support. We see we got a couple new subscribers, so we want to welcome you guys to the Shade Squad. Thank you for helping us continue to glow and grow. And yeah, share us with your friends, and let's keep our shady community growing. And we will catch you guys very soon because we're late, as we said in the beginning. We'll catch y'all very soon for episode, 10? It'll be episode 10 of Married at First Sight. You guys have a good night.
Bye. Good night.
Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Hey!